It's Friday, February 20. The occasion, Jamaica Magazine. The location, wherever you are, on the streets, in a store, at the workplace, in your homes, and even on the internet. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Arroyo Eubanks. On the lineup today, details of government expenditures and revenues for the upcoming financial year. And nurturing young talent, how you can get the children involved in the performing arts. Stay with us, those and much more after the break.
Property owners, pay your 2014-2015 property taxes by February 28 to avoid late fees. Payments after February 28 will attract a 10% penalty. Take advantage of the extended deadline to pay your property taxes. Make payments at any tax office island-wide or via the website jamaicatax.gov.jm. For more information, call 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 1-888-829-4357.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Friday, February 20. Global ratings agency Fitch has revised the outlook for Jamaica from stable to positive. The agency has also reaffirmed Jamaica's long-term foreign currency and local currency issuer default ratings IDR at B- and the short-term foreign currency rating at B and a country ceiling of B. Fitch says the positive outlook is based on the reduction in external financing risks and was supported by Jamaica's structural strengths. The rating action is also predicated on government's commitment to fiscal consolidation and macroeconomic stability, as well as the continued successful performance under the Extended Fund Facility with the IMF. A significant portion of government's budget for the 2015-2016 fiscal year will go towards paying the country's debt. On Thursday, the finance minister tabled a $641.6 billion budget, which is over $100 billion, or about 19% more than what was projected in the 2014-2015 estimates of expenditure. Minister Peter Phillips revealed that the increase included $62 billion to be paid on bonds under the National Debt Exchange. Payments on a $400 million bond will also become due.
So what we are in effect doing is reducing our overall debt overhang, which is at the center of not only our program of fiscal management, but which is essential to maximize the growth potential of the country.
$576.7 billion of the money needed to finance the budget will come from loans, taxes, and capital revenue. $54 billion of money obtained from the international capital markets last year will also be carried forward to fund this year's budget. The remainder will be sourced from additional revenue measures. Meanwhile, government has set aside $165.2 billion in the 2015-2016 budget to deal with public sector wages and salaries. That's up from $158.78 billion in this fiscal year.
We have made provisions for an increase in the salary payments 15-16 of about 3.4%, not including what we have provided in contingency pending the completion of our negotiations with the public sector workers.
Public sector workers will also be getting the final one-off payment of $25,000, which was agreed to in the 2012 to 2015 Heads of Agreement. Retroactive payments to firefighters, health workers, correctional and medical officers have also been accounted for in the budget, as well as the 2.5% increment for public sector workers. Dr. Phillips says this incremental adjustment will be significant as inflation is at an all-time low.
Inflation for the fiscal year up to the end of January was 4.1%. And based upon that, we anticipate the inflation outturn for the fiscal year ending March 31st to be under 5%, which is probably going to be the first time, certainly in the living memory.
And be sure to keep watching Jamaica Magazine for more details on the budget. Research is currently being undertaken by the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, to address the issue of youth unemployment in the region. The CDB says unemployment among young people accounts for about 30% of the potential workforce. Director of Economics at the regional bank, Dr. Justin Ram, says the research will identify the scale of the problem and provide data for estimates.
But more importantly, the publication will provide us with, hopefully, useful policy prescriptions that will allow us to really challenge and to get to the real problem of this, and to sort out this problem, as it were, and to provide useful solutions for our policy makers.
Dr. Ram was addressing a press briefing on the economic performance of CDB's borrowing member countries in Barbados on Wednesday. He said the research would be published in May this year at the CDB's Board of Governors meeting in St. Kitts. And finally, government through Jamaica Promotions Corporation will be spending $236,000 to produce the inaugural Jamaica Film Festival. 15 films by 13 local screenwriters will be showcased during the festival from July 7 to 11. Speaking at Tuesday's JIS think tank, Film Commissioner Carol Beckford said patrons could expect to see the best of Jamaica's film industry.
We have 3 animation projects, 3 documentaries, and the rest are mixed between drama, comedy, a little bit of history, and we have a dark comedy. 2 dark comedies, actually.
JAMPRO is hosting the festival as part of its mandate to develop the film industry with an intention for export. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Parents, assist your children with their schoolwork. That means help. Don't do it for them. Every assignment, such as school-based assessments, SBAs, should be written and researched by the students. Doing the assignment is not helping your child, but rather teaching him or her to take shortcuts and even being dishonest.
SBAs are expected to be developmental. They are aligned to the syllabus, and it is really to assist the students in developing those fundamental concepts for them to do well in the examination itself.
Doing your child's assignment is a breach of the educational regulations, which carry severe sanctions. Be of help. Don't be dishonest.
Yesterday, Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips tabled the estimates of expenditure and the revenue measures for the next fiscal year, which begins on April 1. Earlier, we provided a brief summary in our newscast. Here now are the details.
Government plans to spend $641.6 billion in the 2015-2016 fiscal year. That's over $100 billion more than what was projected in the 2014-2015 budget.
A significant portion of this increase relates to increased debt service expenditures. We, in fact, have $62 billion in NDX bonds maturing in the coming fiscal year, and we also have some approximately $400 million maturing in the course of that year.
Total debt servicing for the 2015-2016 fiscal year is projected at approximately $310.2 billion. Now to the remainder of the budget. $432.6 billion will go towards recurrent expenditure or housekeeping expenses, and approximately $209 billion for capital or development projects. Government will fund most of those development projects, with $22.3 billion to come from multilateral and bilateral agencies.
The capital expenditure program I would point out is to be viewed alongside expenditures which will be undertaken by public bodies, such as the National Water Commission and the National Housing Trust, which will add to the overall spend on the capital side as far as the country as a whole is concerned.
Other major allocations in the budget: $81.3 billion for education, 51.8 for the Ministry of National Security, and 50.3 billion for the Health Ministry. As you are aware, the government indicated earlier that public sector workers would not be asked to endure another wage freeze. In the 2015-2016 budget, $165.2 billion was set aside for public sector wages and salaries. That's up from $158.78 billion in this fiscal year.
We have made provisions for an increase in the salary payments 15-16 of about 3.4%, not including what we have provided in contingency pending the completion of our negotiations with the public sector workers.
Retroactive payments to firefighters, health workers, correctional service and medical officers have also been accounted for in the budget.
And there is a provision also for the 2.5% increment to be paid to public sector workers, separate and apart from whatever we settle as the wage increase.
Public sector workers will also be getting the final one-off payment of $25,000, which was agreed to in the 2012 to 2015 Heads of Agreement. So how will the government be financing the budget? $432.5 billion will come from what has been described as recurring revenue, like money from income tax, general consumption tax, and various departments of government. $10.5 billion will come from capital revenues like the sale of lands. $4.8 billion is to be transferred from the Capital Development Fund, and about $129 billion will come from loan receipts. That's a total of about $576.7 billion, which means about $64 billion more is needed. Well, about $54 billion was already sourced by government from the international capital markets last year. And the remainder?
There is a need for approximately 8.5 or thereabouts $billion in additional revenue measures. But that does not constitute the extent of the increase, because the bulk of our effort this year was on the compliance side of the equation.
And so government will be doing everything possible to broaden the tax base, lower the rates, and improve compliance. So the government is getting its house in order to hit the ground running in the new financial year, which officially begins on April 1, implementing a new approach to the management of the fiscal affairs of the country.
Which has as its ultimate aim the reduction of the debt and the locking in of the gains of growth and equity which should result from that.
It's now over to the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament, which will consider the estimates of expenditure and revenue estimates on March 3 and 4. The Finance Minister will open the budget debate on March 12.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force is pursuing every possible method to help maintain law and order in Jamaica. Just recently, the Area 2 Police Division, comprising the parishes of St. Mary, Portland, and St. Ann, had a high schools debate competition to announce the analytical and reasoning skills of students. Police Commissioner Dr. Carl Williams, who spoke at the closing ceremony, believes that if persons are taught how to reason out a particular topic or situation, it will develop their conflict resolution and problem-solving skills, which will reduce the need to resort to violence.
See, when a man cannot express himself well, they say that him get ignorant. Him cuss and carry on, and him next thing him take up a knife or a gun. But when you can articulate, when you can express yourself, when you can make others know how you feel, you don't act it out in that way.
Hey, solar, we are going to use solar. That Waterford High, we are use solar.
Today on School Zone, Waterford High School strikes yet again. creating light bulbs using plastic bottles. Now that's a bright idea. Stick around with me for more. You will need a sheet of zinc, a chisel and marker, bottles of water and bleach, a sheet metal cutter and flash bond.
Okay, you will start by marking out the zinc. So you use the marker and mark out the zinc. And you can use the bottle, or you can cut out like piece of cartridge paper at the size of the bottle. So you would cut it like 3 millimeter bigger than the hole. So I already have one here which is cut out already. So I'm just going to use this. After you have done that now, you would use a chisel to cut out the bottle hole. After you have used the chisel to bore the hole, you're going to use the metal sheet cutter and cut it. So when you're cutting the zinc, try to have someone professional around you to cut the zinc to avoid cuts.
We came up with this project because of the pollution of plastic bottles in our school environment. The Science Club has come together to work to construct a classroom that was out of use. So we have renovated one classroom to solar classroom using plastic bottles with water and bleach.
So when you insert the bottle, you could pour your bleach in before or after, whichever way you rather it. 2 drops of bleach.
The bleach will act against fungi that will create algae in the water.
So after that now, you can cut out the shape to fit on the house top or the school top.
The Waterford High School in St. Catherine, an institution which has been steadily developing a reputation for producing young people with skills in various areas. This current solar plastic bottle light bulb project is testament to that.
We went online, did some research, and we found out that in the Philippines, they actually use a light bulb, they use plastic bottle and water as a lighting source there for low-income families. That idea was brilliant, and we innovate on it a little. So what we do is to actually find a way to light it up without using electricity, since the light bill here is really high, right? So we find a way to get lighting from the plastic bottle, and we are currently using it in the classroom now.
School Zone visited the classroom in question and checked out how this natural lighting is working for the students.
First, they were saying about the heat, but they're misunderstanding. It's not the bottles the heat is coming from, it's from the zinc roof. But the bottles now give off a good enough light. It's not too bright, it's not too low.
So what about when it rains? Those same holes created to let in the light would also let in the rain, right?
Above, on top of the roof, we use flashband. Silver stuff to use the patch holes and zinc roof. And underneath the bottom, we use silicone to seal out the water, that no water can come in. So the flashband used to hold the bottle, that it don't fall out. And the silicone used to seal out water particles. So whenever rainfall or anything, it won't affect the class, it won't leak or anything.
The young innovators at Waterford High also invented a timely tool to deal with predial larceny.
We call it PDL alert system. What we actually did was to innovate on some technologies that already exist to build an alarm system that can put on a farm. Predial larceny is very common now in the world, in Jamaica, and what we do is trying to find ways to prevent this activity.
The PDL alert system, it is placed under the ground. It detects pressure. It can be placed around your livestock. Not all around the farm, but placed mainly around your livestock. Whenever we have a trespasser now and they step on it, they detect the pressure, and it's on a stealth because you can't see it. So there will be no sabotage. For example, look, whenever a trespasser step on the mines, you hear alarming sound go off. As in, if you press and you hear the alarming sound. It can either be a loud sound in the surrounding where it can scare off the thieves, and they want to get back away from the farm because, you know, we can draw attention to the farm.
The farmer is not on the farm. The motion sensing camera will pick up whatever is going on the farm, and if he's like, his farm is in like town and he's in Portmore, he can stay at Portmore and view his farm on his cellular phone.
Talk about innovation. Besides the creative use of technology, the hard work of both students and teachers is already paying off.
Waterford High has entered the UDC competition with the solar bottle bulbs, where we were placed first over the other schools. We were also placed third in the catalyst competition with our solar bottle bulb. The Catalyst Youth Innovators Competition is a competition for young innovators. The competition is all about us finding an idea and acting up on it to make a business. We entered the competition with two major projects, the solar bottle bulbs and an alarm system to act against cradle larceny. We won big idea for that one due to the high level of technology that we put in it.
To say that we are overly excited and happy is an understatement. The entire Waterford High School family stands behind the young scientists. When we realized they were going to enter this competition, we supported them 199%. And when we realized that they won, it was pandemonium and excitement because we realized that these young people are innovative. They have the right attitude to wanting to experiment. And so as they continue on the path of excellence, which is what our motto is, we are overjoyed that they were able to put together something that could bring all of Jamaica to Waterford High School again.
Public acclaim and prizes aside, the plastic bottle light bulb solar project and radial larceny system have huge potential to make entrepreneurs out of these young scientists.
We want to target other schools in the community and other schools out of the community. We are planning to do like an installation fee, the students doing the installation for them, and they can always come and visit our school to look at our classroom, and we want them to actually adopt this kind of procedure to conserve on electricity.
At Waterford High, we have a life problem.
Mountain we pay that the
I bills them.
We need a solution
to try solve them.
Aye.
Solar. We are going to use solar.
At Waterford High, we are use solar.
Very soon, our children who have been getting lessons on various aspects of the performing arts might just be able to impact the world in one way or another and get their names etched in the annals of history. Let's see why.
This week on the Arts Page, we'll play and dance our way onto the performing arts stage.
One good thing about music, when it hits you, I say one good thing about music, when it hits you, feel okay.
And that's exactly what's been happening to the kids we've encountered. Children as young as 3 years old have been bitten by the music bug.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Music, it's everywhere. It's used in all aspects of human existence, so it's no wonder children would be drawn to it.
Music specifically is a great way for them to learn new things, to not just about music, but just about also social skills, being in a class.
Knowing new music.
And knowing new music, that's right. And also to appreciate different types of music, get an exposure to that at a very young age. That's why they're here.
Instructors at the Music House have a firm belief in the power of the art form.
I think music is a very important part of anyone's life. It can help with other parts of cognitive development, as well as it's a good way to have another alternative in terms of a career, bringing enjoyment to yourself, just the relaxing aspect of it, as well as sharing music with others.
The discipline of learning an instrument on your own, the intense concentration can only be of benefit. And it must be good for the brain. And in fact, it has been proven to be excellent for the brain.
Many parents are of like mind.
Music House has done wonders. You know, it also helps her to be a braver person, a more outgoing person as well.
I would like them to be more rounded individuals and to sharpen their musical skills.
I thought it was very important for him to learn how to play a musical instrument. I'm from a family that's musically inclined. Although it skipped my generation, I wanted him to learn to play a musical instrument.
Instructors at the Music House have also been using music as therapy for children with special needs.
Dance 'cause we are free.
Edna Manley College's junior department has that covered. Since 1966, the School of Dance has been tapping into and nurturing the moves of little ones as young as 3 years old. Trained teachers and teachers in training instruct 120 children in several dance forms, including ballet, traditional, jazz, dancehall, and modern techniques.
Because the School of Dance has history. The School of Dance has a legacy and a tradition of excellence. We are in the business of educating teachers in dance, and so therefore we understand the process, the teaching and learning process of educating our young in this art form. We are an institution that is geared towards the development of the individual, the whole individual. And so therefore, they're not preparing for just a concept, we're preparing them for life.
The parents agree.
My reason for bringing my daughter here is twofold. One, I thought she needed to do some extracurricular activities. And two, for me, Edna Manley is the only national dance school in the Caribbean. So I thought it would be the best institution for me to have her exposed to.
But most of all,
I love to dance and I want to learn new things, make new friends.
So parents, the next time you are thinking of what other co- or extracurricular activities you can get your children involved in, remember,
our emphasis is on sharing the music and not necessarily on exams. We do not believe in exam pressure, and so there's more fun. And we've found that to be very successful.
And allows for them to develop their memory skills, their physical skills, concentration skills, their people skills, and it has the ability for fun. They're not only creating and being creative in an environment with a teacher or a facilitator, but they're having fun doing it. And you find that our children enjoy that process tremendously.
Goodbye again. We'll see you next week.
This has been the Arts Page.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye again.
We've come to the end of Jamaica Magazine for this Friday. Thanks for spending time with us. Catch us again tomorrow on this station. And if you can't wait that long, catch us at your leisure on the internet. Our website, jis.gov.jm, or YouTube channel, or on other social media platforms. I'm Arroya Eubanks, and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.